Hello my friends and welcome. I am Thomas Kousioris, the owner of GRE78.tv channel, and in today's podcast I will explain you why China lost the World Cup 2025 and why Hugo Calderano shocked the table tennis world with his performance. Alright guys, it finally happened. China lost the World Cup. For the first time in many years, since 2017, since the era of Dmitry Ovtcharov, the Chinese team didn't win. And not just that, they didn't even come close. A man from Brazil, Hugo Calderano, made history. He beat Harimoto, he beat Wang Chuqin, and he beat Lin Shidong. That is the top 3 players in the world, all in one tournament. And the question now is simple. Why did China lose? Let's break it down. No more Ma Long, no more Fan Zhendong. China doesn't have their legends anymore. Ma Long is gone, Fan Zhendong is gone. These two were not just great players, they were machines. Strong forehands, explosive footwork, stability, they could control the game with one shot. The new generation? Not the same. Technically good, yes, but they lack that killer forehand power and especially footwork. Hugo Calderano came in with both. Footwork like Ma Long, forehand like a rocket. And that is exactly what beat the Chinese team. China shared too many secrets, my friends. For years, China had the edge in training. They had special systems, hidden drills, technique details nobody else knew. But slowly, maybe for good reasons, maybe for politics, they started sharing everything with everyone. Coaching videos, training camps, interviews, full systems. They even allowed people inside the Chinese national team and inside their Chinese national training team system. Guess what? Europe, Japan, Brazil, they all watched. They copied, they adapted it, and they used it against them. It was a gift to the rest of the world. It was a dream come true for many people to be able to have knowledge of how the Chinese training system as far as table tennis has to do works. I believe that is going to change now. China will go back to being secret like before, and it will be very hard in the next couple of years to visit their Chinese National Training Center, their Chinese National Table Tennis Training Center. But let's talk about footwork and backhand players. Let me tell you the truth about footwork and backhand players. Here is something most people don't say clearly enough. In men's table tennis, footwork is everything. If you only have a strong backhand and weak forehand, you cannot reach the top. You might win one match here and there, but you cannot win consistently. Why? Because a strong forehand system means good footwork. And good footwork means you can control the whole game with your forehand, like Ma Long used to do, like Fan Zhendong used to do, like Zhang Zhai used to do. Look at Hugo. He moves like lightning. Look at Ma Long. Same thing. The new Chinese players, many of them rely too much on the backhand, and their footwork isn't fast enough. That is the problem. Not technique, not speed. Their problem is the footwork. So how you should train? If you are a player, please listen to this. Here is what a player should take from Hugo's win. Definitely train your best shot every single day. If your forehand is strong, practice it 15 minutes daily, for example. If your backhand is weak, practice it again 15 minutes per day. That is the balance. That is the formula. Now, from the moment you know that you have a strong weapon, for example, your strong weapon is your forehand, this means that when the pressure comes in a match, you will use your strongest shot automatically because it is your muscle memory. This means that even if you improve a lot your backhand, comparing it to your forehand, from the moment your forehand is your strong shot, automatically, because of muscle memory, when the pressure comes, you will want to use the forehand in order to react. This is normal. That is the balance, that is the formula. But what you have to do is you have to be prepared by having a very good footwork in order to be able to adapt in this kind of play. That is how Hugo Calderano turned from an inconsistent risk taker to a champion, because a lot of times in the past the shots from Hugo Calderano were very good, but a lot of times he was inconsistent. So this is how Hugo Calderano turned from an inconsistent risk taker to a champion. Also, if your best part, if your best shot is your backhand and you are a backhand dominant player, you have to be aware that you have to train again similar time the forehand, and you have to be aware that you have to train even more the footwork, because the footwork is much more important to a backhand dominant player than to a forehand dominant player, because a forehand dominant player has already developed a great footwork, while a backhand dominant player always is lacking a little bit in having the best footwork. Now, let's talk about Fan Zhendong conspiracies. Let's talk quickly about the rumors we have. People are saying Fan Zhendong was pushed out, that the Chinese Table Tennis Association wanted Wang Chuqin to be the new star. That maybe they held him back or didn't give him proper treatment. Honestly, we don't know. There is no proof. Maybe Fan Zhendong just got tired and maybe he lost his passion. But one thing is true. He left a big hole, a huge hole in the team. And that is part of the reason China struggled. So, welcome to the new world of table tennis. Let's face it, China is still strong, but the rest of the world is finally catching up. Japan, Korea, Germany, Sweden, Brazil, they are all ready now. All of these countries, and maybe some others that I forget to mention, all these countries are ready now. And Hugo Calderano just proved it. This win is not luck. It is proof that China can be beaten. Also, it is very important to remember this. Malong is a legend. Fan Zhendong was great, but they are not here anymore. The table is open. Hugo didn't just win a title. He opened the door for every player in the world. And that is something every table tennis fan should celebrate. The new era has already started. And before I close our today's really fast podcast, because I had basically 2 hours to prepare it, I have to explain you the following. I said something about the footwork. The footwork in women's games, it is not so much important. Why? In women's games, you often win points by quick counterattacks, fast blocks and fast swings. You don't have as much space or time to move around the table like men do. In women's table tennis, the overall speed of the game is lower and rallies are generally closer to the table. So, players don't have as much time to wind up big forehand strokes. There is less time for footwork-based positioning. So, if you can swing faster, you can create speed and power even from close positions. That is why the swing speed, only in women of course, the swing speed means how fast your hand arm accelerates, matters so much in women's table tennis, because it is harder in women's table tennis to rely on movement and full body rotation like in the men's game. So, what happened with Calderano, we should not compare it with women, because in women the footwork is not the most important thing. The most important thing in women's table tennis is the swing speed. In contrast, men's table tennis relies a lot on power from legs and body rotation, large steps for positioning, like Hugo Calderano did and does all the time, more time to use forehand from both sides thanks to stronger footwork, like Hugo Calderano has. So even if a woman has great footwork, she might still lose to a player who has faster swing speed, because reaction time dominates more than movement. And this has to do only in women's table tennis. And I will talk a little bit about, I will give you some examples, because we have a lot of women in our friendly group of people that are honoring us at GRE78.tv and watching these podcasts. I will give some examples for the women. Mima Ito, she is not super strong in footwork, but her explosive forehand swing and fast hands allow her to dominate even world-class players. Wang Manyu, she combines good swing mechanics with sharp timing and short movement, more compact, efficient style. Thank you very much for watching this podcast. Please subscribe, help us grow, comment, like, share this video, share your thoughts. From Thomas Kousioris at the GRE78.tv channel. Thank you very much for your love. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you.
Thanks for subscribing and the overall support and love for our channel. Don't forget, you can always achieve your goals the KOUS way.